Hey everybody, welcome back to Rebootlikers. This is a comedy-ish podcast where we come up with reboots that some people asked for, and usually we are those people. I'm Scott Owen.
I'm Frank Serra.
And today we're rejoined by our very special guest, author, writer, pencil user, BJ Mendelson.
Hello everybody. Thanks for having me back, guys.
I hope you use pencils, because otherwise I'm a liar.
I don't.
Ah, shit.
All right, you're fired, Scott. I'm the new leader of the podcast.
More of a pen guy, huh?
Yeah.
Well,
I'm one of those weirdos that still writes everything longhand when I can.
With a pen, too. That's a lot of confidence. Never make mistakes.
Well, you can just scribble it out. It looks like a crazy person.
That's true.
You can never forget your mistakes. But.
That's right. They're there forever.
Speaking of being haunted by mistakes, today we're rebooting the hard-hitting detective movie, Detective Pikachu. Because BJ had some great ideas on Twitter about this, and I said, hey, let's turn those into a thing that we do for internet attention. So here we are. So first off, Frank, you have not seen this movie, correct?
I've not seen the film.
BJ,
I'm
have
aware
you
of the
seen it
premise.
yet?
I have not seen it.
Okay, so I'm the only one who's seen it, which is good because I don't want to. Because this is the first time I think we've ever rebooted a movie that is still currently in theaters.
Okay.
So I was just worried about getting too much into spoilers.
We're not going to ruin the surprise.
Yeah. Oh boy, Frank, it is a surprise. First off, I do recommend you see the movie. It is very fun and very dumb, which is everything I wanted in a movie starring Ryan Reynolds as the voice of Pikachu. But that's not what we're here to do today. Today we're going to do, I think Brandon or BJ, we're calling it Pikachu Noir?
Yes.
Yes, Detective Pikachu Noir, where it's a little less family I guess we're getting back to our roots of the reboots, where everything's got to be dark and gritty. We take out all the light out of everything, all the joy, and we crush it under the weight of...
You can just call us DC Comics. Zoom. Coming at you,
I have
Warner
to say,
Brothers.
I'm not usually like a dark and gritty guy. I just, in this specific instance,
No, it's perfect.
Pikachu, yeah, it made so much sense.
Yes, it is perfect. So let's just get right into our first segment. Love it or leave it.
Love me or leave me or let me be lonely.
And this is where we talk about what we want to keep and what we want to get rid of from the original, because a big thing of reboots is, keeping some things and then totally changing other things. Now, since neither of you have seen this movie, I'm very curious, you're basically operating entirely off of the trailers here, which is fine for this segment because in standard Rebootlikers fashion, we don't require any knowledge about anything that we reboot. So, first off, what do you guys want to keep from this? Probably Pikachu.
That's basically it. Like, that's the one thing on my list of stuff to keep. Everything else must go.
Are there other Pokemon in this movie, or is he the only one now?
There's a dead Psyduck.
Wow. Okay.
The mystery begins.
Is the dead Psyduck because so every noir has the first case that he gets called into that isn't really related, it's tangentially
it does just suck
related.
him into the second deeper.
Right. Yeah. So is that what? Maybe we'll save that for our plot segment. Okay. BJ has already sucked me in with this one tidbit of knowledge. I need to know this. Okay. So real quick, so Frank, is there anything that you want to keep that BJ has decided to get rid of?
No. I just want to say that children have no business being anywhere near almost all crime scenes.
Correct. So you're
Just
saying that
general.
Pikachu does not have a
For
trainer?
anyone who might want to watch Detective Pikachu and then try to solve crimes.
Oh, I see. You're
pump the brakes.
You're doing
and
the
really,
legal
they
disclaimer.
should have a warning in the film. And now I didn't go see it, but
yeah.
Do they say at the beginning children do not?
Well, I think that brings us to our first question, which is BJ. What rating are we going for here? Are we going a PG-13, or are we just going all in?
We're going all in.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I would love it to be NC-17, but I think I emailed this to you before. I did some research, and typically noir films with detectives are all rated. They're hard R.
Yeah.
So LA Confidential, Chinatown, Blood Simple, Inherent Vice, The Long Goodbye. All of those are hard R's.
Okay, yeah, we're gonna go hard R with this guy. And to quote, I'm just gonna quote BJ's email here when I asked him what rating we should go for. Lots of blood, lots of hot people, all in glorious black and white. So, Frank and BJ, just be thinking ahead of time which hot people you want in our cast, so that we can really spice this up. Okay, well, so if we're not keeping anything besides Pikachu, he is a detective, let's move on to our second segment. We call this When and Where. And BJ, this is where we start establishing our setting and our genre. We already know genre. It's your standard film noir. But our setting, where are we? Are we in a Pokemon city? If there's no other Pokemon besides a dead Psyduck, does Pikachu live in a Pokemon world? Does he live in our world now? Where are we putting this boy?
It's got to be like old Los Angeles.
Okay.
And he's sort of like a fish out of water, where his apartment is just a disaster. You know, like there's stuff everywhere, but he knows it's one of those characters where he knows where the important stuff is.
Right.
So he doesn't bother cleaning it. So like, there's a broken window. There's a noisy neon light outside, a noisy refrigerator. He's got a Murphy bed. He's got like a ton of roaches.
Is the Murphy bed? Is the Murphy bed like human sized, or is it tiny Pikachu sized?
It's tiny Pikachu sized.
Is this like the borrowers where like there's like little Pokemon apartments?
This is literally what I was about to ask. Does he have a?
They're like slotted.
I feel like is his apartment also his office though? That seems like a pretty common thing in these movies.
I wasn't sure.
His Murphy bed flips up and it's like the pin board with string, like on the under.
He's got his murder board on there.
That would be very good. I'm just debating because if it's also his office, that means humans need to be able to get into his apartment. But I love the idea of a tiny Pikachu
like
apartment.
A mouse hole, like an actual mouse hole that he goes into.
Maybe it's just adjacent to his office.
Yeah, that's how I would do it. Sort of like the Jessica Jones setup. Where
yeah.
It's kind of just around the corner is all the garbage.
So his apartment is very little. He's got a sink. He's got a fridge. He's got tons of like empty takeout boxes just strewn around the place. Does Pikachu wear a trench coat in this?
Oh yes.
Okay.
Yeah. I didn't realize that was a question.
So is he in the movie now? He wears like a Sherlock Holmes detective hat. Does he now? Are we going like old school? Is he wearing like a fedora, like a cool detective from the old times?
And just a human-sized cigar. Just
well, I do have a question about that.
It takes his whole hand to just grip it up.
This takes place. We're putting this in like 30s, 40s Los Angeles, right, BJ?
Yes,
this is in the past.
right.
Okay. Can Pikachu grow scruff on top of his fur?
He can in this movie.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm going to take that and kind of before... This is pirate radio, right? Nintendo will not sign off on this, so we're just going to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're just going to do it. So okay.
Oh, I thought you had another thing that you were going to do.
Well, we can do what we want with this because...
Right.
I mean... We're already doing this illegally.
Right. Okay. So Frank's question or comment about the cigar I want to know what are Pikachu's vices, because every film noir, the detective has a thing that he is addicted to.
So he's got the Holy Trinity. You know, he's got dames, he's got cigars, but only the really stupidly expensive ones, like the hoity-toity cigars, and the horses, which he only refers to as the horsies throughout the film.
And that is, of course, gambling, right?
That's right.
Okay. I didn't know if he was just like a horse enthusiast and he just owns a stable.
Well, he could be, but no, he's definitely at the
horsies. That's very
and
good.
he lights his cigar by touching it to the tip of his electric tail, right?
Oh, for sure.
Oh, or the red spots on his cheeks. Which one?
Either one, I'll allow it. And I want to go even bigger with that cigar, Frank. And it takes both his whole hands for him to.
It takes both.
Because
he like keeps it like in a backpack, like he.
Because he pulls it out from his trench coat. But it is the full length of his trench coat.
I gotta hit Bulbapedia for a second.
You gotta look up the size of Pikachu.
I gotta look up the exact height of the average Pikachu.
This is exactly what I did. I'm not gonna lie. Literally, as soon as we talk about this, I googled.
All right,
Bulbasaur.
he's 1 foot 4 inches.
Oh, he's such a tiny boy.
He's small. Yeah,
Okay.
I think he might need both hands for like Le Grand Cigar.
I think so.
I'm into this. Okay, so we're.
It's like he's playing a flute.
He holds it. Oh, I love this so much. Okay, so Pikachu, we decided he's going to be a private detective, correct? He's not
Yes, that's
affiliated with the police.
No, he was kicked off the force for something that's only referred to as the incident.
The incident, which is not related to the dead Psyduck you mentioned earlier, correct?
That's right. It's two very different things.
Okay, I'm really curious about what this dead Psyduck is. Okay, so then what kind of crimes does Pikachu special in? Is he like a missing persons detective? Is he a... Do people actually go to private investigators for homicide cases? Is that a thing?
Yeah, I mean, like if it's a cold case, there's always
Okay, yeah.
there's stuff like that. There's also psychics that people go to. I don't think he's a psychic in this movie. That could be the sequel.
That's a different type of Pokemon.
Yeah, that's a different film, different Pokemon. But no, I think that in this scenario, he takes all of the like scut work from other detectives.
Okay.
That like they just don't have time or they don't care. And it's always like little piddling crap. So he just says yes to everything to keep the lights on. So blackmail, things like adultery are his specialty, and he's also a divorce lawyer by trade.
I thought you were going to say he's also divorced, which would have also been...
He is. Oh, he totally is. But that's what inspired him to get a license and become like a licensed divorce lawyer.
Oh, yes, because like he got bent over a barrel, and now he's become a lawyer to... Well, I don't know. I was going to say he does it so other people don't get screwed, but also Pikachu doesn't seem like he's... So I guess this is a question about his character. Does he actually like... deep down, does he care about other people, or is he just... Is his jadedness, like, is that through and through he no longer cares?
Well, it's sort of like the George Carlin quote, where a person is smart and kind and interesting and people are really fucking stupid.
Okay.
And that's sort of how I would see it. Like, he doesn't trust anyone. Like, he's seen it all. He's a grizzled veteran detective by the time that we meet him. So his whole thing is people will turn on each other at the drop of a hat. So
Yes.
His only friend is a bottle of whiskey.
And the horsies.
And the horses.
I never had to think about what a middle-aged Pikachu would look like.
I was actually just about to ask you, Frank,
and I
what
think
would
like
you
I think
describe?
one of my what I immediately latched onto is, unlike a young like go get 'em Pikachu, he cannot reliably produce electricity. He can just kind of sometimes get some sparks.
Yeah. Now
But it's just not always there.
It is funny that you bring that up, because in the movie that just came out, he is unable to produce electricity, and he doesn't know why.
You could probably because the talking.
Probably because the talking. Yeah, I like that a lot. Like he can't really get it up, as they say.
He doesn't have the juice.
The juice. But this Pikachu, Frank, used to have the juice. He is just now
Oh, he
washed
used
up.
to have the juice.
Here's a question, Frank. Do Pikachu's age in like dog years, or is it a human years thing? Like, is his middle age, is he actually just like 7?
Don't make me look up the age of a Pikachu on Bulbapedia.
I don't want you to look it up. This is pirate radio.
I
want you to tell me, has Pikachu been doing this for 40 years or for 4?
Yes, I want in the movie for Pikachu to say like, I'm too old for this, and like mean it, and not just be a joke that it's been 3 years.
Okay, so Pikachu is like 47 years old. He's been doing this for 25
Forever.
years. Yeah, okay. Now, Frank, I do still need you to tell me what a old Pikachu looks like. Like, what does his scruff look like? How's his fur, like the coloration?
He's definitely got some salt and pepper. As I said, lack of reliable sparks. I think the red spots on his cheeks are a little sun bleached.
Okay.
just washed out a little.
Yeah. How are his eyes? Bloodshot as all hell?
Bloodshot and baggy. That's all those cigars.
Pikachu's...
And I kind of like he's got the trench coat, right?
Yeah.
And I just had this fun visual. So every time he pulls something out of his trench coat, the first thing he does is pull out like a gambling ticket that he throws away and then reaches back in there and gets what he wants.
Yes.
But
We
like
do-
every time.
So we are gonna have it. So, okay, I gotta save this for the plot part because there's a lot of scenes that I want established, and I'm very excited for this movie. Okay, does Pikachu BJ? Does Pikachu have a partner?
No, he works alone.
Did he ever have a partner?
At one point, I wanted there to be like a Charizard
Yes.
that got killed in the line of duty.
Oh my gosh, a Pikachu partnering with a Charizard is so good too because of the size difference.
That's right.
I love
and
this.
So I like that being tied to the incident that they never really talk
Okay, yeah. The incident has something. Okay, yes, that's very good. Okay, so let's get into segment 3. This is called Who Can It Be?
Can it be now?
And this is where we figure out our characters and then who is playing them. So first of all, already we know Pikachu is a character. Who is playing Pikachu in this movie, BJ?
So, I mean, part of this joke got started where over on Nerdist, they revealed that Danny DeVito had they had used his voice in the test animation for Detective Pikachu. So, like, to me, that, I mean, if we are making this movie and we're all in on it, it has to be Danny DeVito.
I agree, 100%.
I do have some backups, however.
Okay, yeah, let's hear
So-
the backups just so we're sure Danny DeVito's our choice.
Yeah, I think that like universally the internet would be like, hell yeah, Danny DeVito. But if he's not available, I had a couple of I have a few oddballs. So one is Megan McCarthy, but only if she's doing the character from Bridesmaids.
Okay.
I think that as a grizzled and pissed off Pikachu would be
Yeah.
just hilarious because she's not too far from it, like doing the Guy Fieri thing.
Right.
So that would be one. And then I think that Pikachu is either an all or nothing kind of thing. So option A is Patrick Stewart,
Yes,
where
oh my gosh.
Pikachu's like almost like Shakespearean trained in terms of how serious he is.
Right.
And gives, because it's, if you go back and watch any of these old noir films, they all have that narration, and so having someone like Patrick Stewart would be really great for skipping ahead just a little bit, like with this Psyduck. When I first started joking about this, all of it goes back to Pikachu standing over the bloody corpse of his Psyduck, smoking a cigar and saying, "Psy indeed."
Oh my
So-
god, yes.
So I was like, okay, if it's not Danny DeVito, it's all or nothing. It's got to be Patrick
Oh
Stewart,
my
or it's got
gosh.
to be like Nicolas Cage.
I
On the
would
other hand,
love to hear Patrick Stewart do this. The funny thing about this too is when they announced the video game Detective Pikachu in 2016, the Japanese trailer came out before, because I think it got released in Japan before America, as most of these games do. And in the trailer for it, Pikachu's voice is like a deep, gruff Japanese man's voice, and it is so
Yes.
funny to hear. And so just the idea of this tiny little boy having this very big man's voice is very funny to me. So I am all in for Danny DeVito to be our number one choice, and I love these fallbacks. So then the next question is, who else is in this movie? Who are our characters? Because so far, all we know is that Pikachu is in this movie. So who else has to be in this movie for there to be a cast and a plot?
so I've always wanted to hear Idris Elba say "Psy."
Okay.
So to me,
And
like,
now so have I.
right? So to me, he's the dead Psyduck.
So, and are we following... Is Pikachu the only one who can speak? So it'll just be Idris Elba saying different variations of Psyduck's name?
That's right.
Okay, yes. Okay, so we've got our Psyduck, who we will establish who they are and why they're dead. Who else is in this movie? Do we need like a femme fatale, or what are they? A femme fatale in noir? Is that what they are?
Yeah, typically. I've always wanted to see like Melissa Fumero do it
Okay, yes, she'd
from
be
Brooklyn
great.
Nine-Nine, because there's she could do the seriousness while also, I mean, clearly this movie is like a wink and a nod, right?
Yes.
Like you're not seeing this movie because it's like a serious noir. You're seeing it because it's fucking around with the genre.
Right, but it's
and I-
pretending to be a serious noir the whole time.
Yes, yes. It's played straight. Like, the
Yes.
movie is played straight, but you know why it was made. Like, it was
Great.
made as a goof.
Yes, I love this.
So I think she would be very good as, like, the femme fatale.
Yeah.
So
So is she like a lounge singer, or is she like? I mean, they're usually a lounge singer, right?
Yeah, no, I had her as a waitress.
Okay, waitress works too.
If it like so I'm a big Brooklyn Nine-Nine fan. So like if it was a
me too.
lounge singer, then it would just be Stephanie Beatrice
That's true.
because she could sing really well. But
Right.
I think that Melissa Fumero works like as a down on her luck waitress that just gets caught up like at the wrong place at the wrong time.
Okay, I love that. Okay, so does he? Is there a police chief that he's gonna have to interact with regularly, or I feel like we need some sort of authority figure for him to at least like shrug off because he's a PI. But I just feel like every noir has somebody like that.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely like so the model for this when I first heard that they were doing Detective Pikachu, I was like, why didn't they just remake Chinatown?
Yeah.
So like that's how I approached like the casting of it, was just taking Chinatown but switching stuff around. So you definitely have like the old partner that still knows him that's on the force.
Okay.
That's kind of trying to get him to back off because Melissa Fumero's waitress is caught up in like this big scandal involving the water in Los Angeles, and so there is an authority figure in the form of the partner saying, this is not the case you should be working on.
Mm-hmm. Now, is Pikachu's former partner on the Force a human?
Yes.
Okay.
I wanted to limit the Pokemon as much as possible.
Yeah.
Like I thought, unless it was really, really funny,
Right.
Pikachu should only be the Pokemon that you see and think about throughout the film.
Perfect. I'm into that. So then
We also we don't have Nintendo's money on this one, so
you don't got that CG. Okay, so then who's playing Pikachu's ex-partner? Who are we casting for this?
I always liked the guy. I can't think of his name off the top of my head. He was in Die Hard, but he's also Carl Winslow.
Oh, Reginald Val Johnson.
Reginald
Yes.
Val Johnson.
Yes.
I love him. I think that I don't know if he's still alive or not.
Because he was his
God, I
partner
hope-
20 years ago.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
He's a character actor. He's still alive. He's only 66. All right, we're good.
Okay.
Oh, he's fine. Okay. Whew. And this is the like begrudging, like, the captain said not to help you, but
Yeah,
you
he'll
saved
help
my
him
life.
a little bit, but yeah,
Yeah.
he's still mostly by the books, but he
Like giving him a file folder. I really shouldn't be doing this, man.
Right. Regarding the incident, I assume everyone regards the incident as Pikachu's fault.
Yes.
Was it Pikachu's fault, or do we know?
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't
it doesn't
matter.
matter.
It doesn't like I tend to, just with any story, I tend to leave a lot of stuff open for the audience to figure
Okay.
out. So it's open to their interpretation.
Okay. Does Pikachu act as if it's his fault, or does he just not care? Like he's just
No,
resigned.
he certainly is. He's accepted it.
Okay.
He doesn't feel he's at fault.
Okay. He doesn't feel he's at fault, but like he doesn't when someone brings up the incident and either implicitly or explicitly blames him for it, Pikachu's not gonna like contradict or defend himself. He's just gonna let it roll off and move on.
That's right.
So that the listener, the viewer is very intrigued, but they don't get that answer. Okay, I love that. Who is our villain? Is there one?
Oh, yeah. Well, so it depends if you like. Again, I'm trying to stick within the framework of Chinatown.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're remaking Chinatown, then there's absolutely a villain. If you're doing more of a traditional noir, then it doesn't matter
Right.
so much because usually the villain is just revealed to be some scumbag that gets killed at the end. Like
Right.
it's not a huge thing.
Right.
The reason why I gravitated to Chinatown was because I love just having someone super seriously say, "Forget it, Pikachu.
Yes.
It's Chinatown."
Yes.
So like that's what keeps me coming back to that film. So for people who have seen the film or haven't seen the film, Noah Cross is the villain from Chinatown. He is essentially just behind like this elaborate conspiracy. I'm not gonna, I don't think it's worth getting into what the conspiracy is, but I thought that Matthew McConaughey should be the villain.
Okay.
I think given that his last two films have been terrible, he'll be into it.
Yeah. He needs that redemption.
Yeah, I think he'd be into it. Plus, I think that he would be just great as a villain. So
Yeah.
Yeah, he has a quiet intensity.
so like I'll read you real quick what the character description is for Noah Cross.
Okay.
It says the father of Evelyn and Catherine and the major antagonist in the movie, a wealthy, well-known man, crosses the affable front, masks a sociopath who believes that no law, either legal or moral, applies to him.
Yeah, that's Matthew McConaughey.
Yeah, exactly. Like that to me screams McConaughey.
Yes.
I can't think of anyone else for that role.
I love this. All right, Frank, is there anyone that you are dying to cast in this movie that BJ hasn't already nailed? Any characters that you need to see in this? I think he's got to have like an informant, some sort of like druggy.
He's got to have a stoolie.
Yeah, so
He's got to have like a filthy Mike that
yeah, so
like some dude that gives him a call on a payphone
yeah.
because some guy he was watching left the bar.
And so Filthy Mike does provide him with information, but I'm just calling him Filthy Mike because I love this. Is Filthy Mike from something, Frank? Or
I think isn't it from the other guys? That's
I don't
Dirty
know.
Mike.
That's Dirty.
Filthy Mike is our own invention.
I think it's Dirty Randy actually. I don't remember.
Oh.
It might be Dirty Mike. Oh yeah, it's Dirty Mike and the Boys.
Dirty
Whatever.
Mike and the Boys.
Filthy
the
Mike
other
is
guys.
so Filthy Mike is gonna be
Filthy Mike is our own original thing.
Filthy Mike will provide him with information, but then also definitely stab him in the back later in the film.
Right.
So Frank.
Oh yeah, like in exchange for cocaine. Like
yeah.
yeah.
So who is Filthy Mike?
Like not like in exchange for on camera doing the cocaine while standing right there. Like
so who do you want to cast as Filthy Mike, Frank?
I want is Filthy Mike. So the easy answer is just tweaked out Aaron Paul.
Oh yeah.
Because he would sell it, right?
Just Jesse Pinkman.
But he's done that.
He has done that.
We want to.
Is that too much of a
shots.
wink? Is that too much of a wink? So if we're not doing Jesse Pinkman, then who are we doing?
I have one for you.
Yeah.
Zac Efron.
Oh hell yeah, Zac Efron would be real good. I was gonna say Fred Savage, but he's probably too old.
I mean, they say that hard drugs ages you.
That's true. That's very true.
Can you imagine Fred Savage playing a tweaker, like our sweet Wonder Boys kid?
Like
Just
3
tweaking?
layers of coats, like even though it's LA in the summer.
Oh, now I can't decide because Zac Efron is also so good. Because Zac Efron can do like crazy eyes. He can look crazy.
Got range.
You know what? Let's bring them both in and then see who gives us the better performance. Okay, let's move on to this is our final segment, and definitely for this episode, this is going to be the meat here. This is called "What's Going On," and this is where we plot this sucker out. So, opening shot of this movie is Pikachu standing over a dead Psyduck. Yes.
That's right.
And then is the rest of the movie or the most of the rest of the movie like a flashback bringing us up to speed so that we get to hear Idris Elba say Psyduck?
Yeah. I mean, I sort of see. So, like, one of the questions you asked was, like, what's the MacGuffin in the film?
Right, yes.
So I think it's the dead Psyduck.
Okay.
Like, I don't think it ultimately matters to the plot. Like, it's just something that we use to kick it off, and it's there as a flashback, but it ultimately doesn't really mean much.
Okay.
Are we catching all the way up to the Psyduck murder, or is it like the end of Act 2 is the Psyduck murder, and now we're in the present and we have Act 3?
That's what I was picturing. Like the first, so we see the dead Psyduck, then we flashback, catch us up to the dead Psyduck, and then we move forward and resolve whatever our problem is.
Right.
Which, as it turns out, goes deeper than the dead Psyduck and is not actually related to the dead Psyduck. So, jumping back to the beginning, then, quote unquote, the beginning. So how do we open this flashback? I assume so. We've got Danny DeVito narrating this, correct?
That's right.
Now,
Just full on Philatides.
I just need to get, I guess, veto confirmation on this. We're still doing CGI Pikachu, right? We're not just putting Danny DeVito in a suit.
He is only 1 foot tall, so
Yeah, I mean, like, oh man, there's part of me that really just wants him
I
in the
know,
suit.
because as soon as we said Danny DeVito, I was like, well, now hang on. We could put Danny DeVito in like just a Pikachu costume where it's just Danny DeVito's face poking out of the hole at the top. But
That's what I would do, and that's true for the Psyduck Idris Elba as well.
he's also just a guy in a big mascot suit.
Yeah, honestly, like, to me, I'm not a CG guy.
Oh, that's so good.
I'd much rather the practical effect of having
Plus,
Idris Elba.
that'll save us so much money because
That's right.
the CG is very expensive for some reason. All right, Frank, are you okay with this massive shift?
Yeah.
You're cool
Yeah,
with?
he's gonna have like a cardboard tail.
I guess. He's wearing one of those suits that it's just got like hoops in it, so it can make him. Although I don't know that Danny DeVito needs any help with girth.
No, he's round. We're
Is
good.
it? So is it like a skin tight suit
Just like a morph suit. Yeah.
with ears on the top and then a
Ears
tail?
on the tail.
And he's still wearing a trench coat, so you don't see it that much. You just see Danny
No,
DeVito
right, yeah,
with
yeah,
ears
yeah.
on. Okay.
And he still has like a face.
So then that raises the question: are we gonna have to do CG to make him smaller than everyone else? Are we gonna have to just do some green screen shooting, or like to
reverse Gandalf.
be way smaller than everyone else? I mean,
Yeah, I mean they did in The Hobbit, right? Where
Yeah.
I think Ian McKellen was standing on boxes.
yeah.
Does
Ian
that
McKellen
happen?
was on boxes and shot like most of his scenes just by himself. So yeah, we can do that. So then he does still have comically enormous cigars, right, Frank?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Fantastic. So we jump back. How does the story of this movie begin? Like how does our boy Pikachu get wrapped up in all of this?
So that's where the waitress character comes in. Like,
Okay.
like in any good noir film, she's got a problem. Like
Mm-hmm.
she's sleeping with this guy, and it turns out the guy's married, and now the wife wants to kill her.
Okay, so she comes to him of all the gin joints in all the world. She had to walk into mine, whatever. So how does she know him? Is she like a waitress at the Horsies?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, at the Horsies.
At the Horsies. So maybe we
She works at the track.
So should we gotta visit the Horsies at some point.
Well, that to me would be when you flash back, that would be the first scene is Danny DeVito just screaming at the horses.
Screaming at the Horsies, losing money, and ripping up his tickets. And then she brings him a drink or something, or he orders one, she brings it. We establish that she talks to him, establishing that like he's a regular. She knows him because he's here so often. They're not like close, but they're the standard regular waitress relationship.
Jeez.
What do you got, Frank?
That's right.
What do they call him?
Oh, do they just
The
call
waitress
him
brings
Pikachu?
him his whiskey and says, "Here you go."
Oh, I mean,
comma,
she
blank.
probably calls everybody sugar.
Right. Okay, that's an easy one.
But what does
eventually,
Pikachu's
someone's gonna have to
partner
use his
call him?
name,
Yeah,
right?
is his name just Pikachu? Do they call him Chew? Like it's a
Yeah.
last name?
Chewy.
Chewy?
Just Chewy.
Chewy's pretty good. Just sounds so like if the police chief is shouting at him, what's the police chief calling him? Is the police chief gonna call him Chewy in his very
No.
angry voice?
Yeah, it's full on Pikachu when the police chief
Very
is yelling at him.
Did we cast a police chief? We cast Reginald Vale Johnson as his old partner.
I don't think we did.
If we didn't, I do want Patrick Stewart in that role. If we don't put him as
Oh,
Pikachu.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that would be good.
Okay. So he's at the tracks. He loses. He chews the fat with the dame for a bit, and then he goes back to his apartment. We see it is just a mess. How does he meet the Psyduck? What is the Psyduck's role in all of this?
You know the Psyduck works for the Department of Water and Power. That's easy.
That's right.
Okay. I'm just like, I feel like Pikachu has to do something between going home from the Horsies and then the waitress showing up at his office asking for help. I don't know if it's really
He needs to do something to show
that he's a
that
detective.
he doesn't have a lot of cases and he's not doing well. Maybe he's got overdue bills or something. I don't know.
Maybe he goes and he tails a husband.
One of the things that you see in these films, especially the older ones, is they do the spitting newspaper thing.
Yeah.
So I think it'd be really funny if instead of a spitting newspaper, it was like spitting bills.
Okay.
And they would like come up and all of them would say like past due, your account's overdrawn.
Yeah,
right,
Like
okay.
stuff like that.
That's good. So then he's like
Eviction.
desperate for work. At some point, we have to establish that LA is running out of water, right?
Yes.
Okay. So maybe he goes to a bar and like it's like maybe there's like a water bar.
He orders a water and the bartender says, "Can't. There's a drought."
He
Yeah.
could do that, or like water is super expensive because it's going. I like the drought. I like that better. Then he's like, "Fine, give me."
The city shut off my.
Mm-hmm.
What do they call it? Shut off my water.
They
pipe.
usually just
What do
say,
they-
"Shut off my water."
shut off my water.
So the city shut off the bar's water because there's a drought.
Right.
Okay. So then the dame shows up at Pikachu's office, and she's got a case for him, which is, you said, BJ, she's having an affair, and the man is having an affair with her, and
That's right.
his wife is going to kill her, and is
It should be needlessly complicated.
right. Okay.
And the reason why is because Chinatown is needlessly complicated.
Right.
Like it turns out that the second girl in the film is actually the sister / daughter of the first girl in the film.
Oh yeah.
So it's like really screwy. So I thought whatever it is that she brings him has to be stupidly complicated.
Okay. So she's cheating. She's the other girl in a relationship with
With a married man.
a married man, and the married man is not the Psyduck, right?
That's right.
Okay. That would be interesting.
So she's cheating with a married man. She is suspicious that the married man is having a second affair with a third woman.
Oh, there you go.
So she wants Pikachu to track the married man. And then how does that
He works
case-
at the Department of Water and Power with Psyduck.
Okay, with Psyduck. So then
Yes. The supervisors.
okay. So then how does what happens next? I don't know. I'm not. He goes. So does he just tail this guy to the Department
Yeah.
of Water?
He does his thing, like he starts following the case, and that's how he winds up with him intersecting with the Psyduck.
Okay, so he
That
meets the
ultimately gets killed.
Psyduck, and then does he talk to the Psyduck and learns that something is real dirty in the water and power plant?
Yes.
And then he's just like, oh, so this is the case. Okay, so then I think right after he meets the Psyduck, he goes home and absolutely, like, instantly gets, like, a threatening call or brick through his window or something, like, telling him to leave it alone. And
Yeah,
which, of course,
so-
only makes him dig deeper.
I mean, like, going back to Chinatown, like, it gets crazy because there's a second woman that comes in saying that the first woman that came to see you was a fraud. It wasn't really her.
Right. I haven't seen Chinatown in forever. Okay. So do we just do that where somebody else comes in and he's
That's right.
but isn't he at this point he's like, oh right, that case. I was looking at this water thing. I forgot
Yes.
about this.
Yeah, once he sees the water thing, he couldn't care less.
Right.
about, like,
So then
the
she
case.
comes in, she's like, hey, Melissa Fumero was lying to you, and he's like, who? Oh right. Okay. I guess I can okay, so then he's focusing on this water thing. Maybe he goes back to hit up his old partner to shake loose some leads. He's like, I know a guy, maybe he can do me some favors. So does the Psyduck kind of enlist him to help him figure out what's going on, or does he just like see something weird happening, so then he just starts digging because he's curious?
Right, he's a detective.
Okay.
Like he saw this really abnormal thing. Plus, he's pissed. Like
Right.
he loves his water
Yeah.
at the water bar.
Oh, that's the thing. That's the reason he's still alive despite all the cigarettes and the gambling is that good clean water.
You know what else needs water is the horsies.
That's
The
right.
horsies, they need,
If the horsies
because
don't
he
have
earlier
water,
in the movie he goes and talks to the jockey for his favorite horsey.
and he
And
was too
and he
thirsty to win.
Please, Scott, please right now name the horse. 3, 2, 1, name the horse.
Butterscotch?
5, 4, Butterscotch. Why is Butterscotch? Butterscotch is my guy. Butterscotch makes me the rent every month. And he goes, I don't know what to tell you, Pikachu. He's thirsty. He's toist. He says toisty.
Toisty. I hate that. Toisty. All right. He's a weird guy, this jockey. Is the jockey...
So
and
now
the-
he's got a steak.
Yeah, okay. He needs his horse Butterscotch to really be able to perform. Okay, so then he goes back to... So he's going to go talk to Reginald Vell Johnson, and he's like, hey, do you have any... I don't know. Do you know anybody down at... whatever, who the water,
The DWP.
the DWP. And Reginald says, like, I can look into it, but I mean, he's gonna say, like, Reginald's not on the take, but Reginald clearly has to be like, he's gonna figure out that something is a little weird and be like, you should probably stay away from this, I feel like.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Too
I think
dangerous.
I mean, it's like anything where people feel with bureaucracy that's out of their hands.
Right.
that nothing you do will matter. So that's sort of him saying, what's the point? This isn't going to change
Right.
anything.
You're not. What do you think you're gonna do? Bring back the water? What do you think you're gonna do, Pikachu? Bring rain? Okay. So then,
Oh wait, is there a Pokemon that could make it rain? Do you guys
almost
know?
definitely. Oh, I guarantee.
probably
I'm
dozens.
just gonna go ahead and look this up. I mean, if this was a traditional Detective Pikachu movie, you know the Department of Power and Water will just be full of water
They just
Pokemon.
blast
Right.
noises. And stuff. Yeah.
Pokemon that can make it. Wow, Google auto completed make it rain for me. Oh, there's a move called Drizzle, which apparently a lot of Pokemon have.
Okay.
I mean, we've got Politoed. It's all new Pokemon. I'm not familiar with any of these Pokemon.
It'd be great though if like one of them, one of the water created Pokemon was being held hostage.
Oh yes.
And so this guy, Noah Cross, is draining Los Angeles' water supply, but he's sitting on,
He's sitting on
Pokemon.
the supply.
yeah.
Yes. Okay. So we've got our options are Politoed, which is like a green frog-looking Pokemon, Pelipper, which looks like a pelican, and Kyogre. I don't know how to say this. Who's like looks like a whale that can fly.
Let's go with that one.
That's the one. We're sitting on a whale who can fly. Okay.
Because that gives you a big set piece.
Yes. Okay. So Reginald like hits a dead end, tells him he's got nothing. Pikachu goes back to visit the Psyduck to kind of get some answers. Psyduck is of course willing to help, but Psyduck's like Psyduck wears a hard hat, right? Psyduck's one of those
Yes.
workers. Yes. Okay.
He got a little clipboard underneath his left flat.
But just to remind everyone, this is Idris Elba wearing
That's
a
right.
Psyduck costume, only saying Psyduck. The Psyduck head he was wearing is enormously oversized, and the hard hat he's wearing is a regular sized hard hat just on top of this Psyduck's head.
Yes,
give
yes.
Oh my!
And he does not speak English.
He just says Psyduck, Psy-yi-yi,
Yes.
Psyduck, Psy-yi-yi duck, and then oh my god. Okay.
And his coworker says like, "Oh, you're always tripping, Psyduck."
Well, this is the other question. So can Pikachu's the only Pokemon in this movie who can speak English?
Yes.
Which means that so in the actual Detective Pikachu movie, no one else can understand Pikachu, and no other Pokemon one of the things they establish is that normal Pokemon can't understand human speech. They can tell what you're feeling, so that, like you can communicate with them. But it's a thing that like Pikachu can talk to Pokemon, and then Tim the human can talk to humans, and then they can talk to each other. So it works. So in this, like, can other humans talk to this Psyduck, Frank?
Oh, for sure.
Interesting. So
They can talk to the Psyduck, like Chewbacca style.
oh right, they can talk, but can they understand what he's saying?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
But how do you think he got as far as he got? He's an excellent communicator.
Well, he's also a psychic Pokemon,
Well, right, yeah.
and so a thing in
Valve 3 needs adjustment. Woo, woo,
Yeah,
woo, woo, woo.
I mean, like, one thing is, again, going back to bureaucracy, people tend to fail upwards.
that is true. So is Psyduck's like a manager, huh?
That's
I
right.
He's like
also-
a floor. He's like the floor. What's the word? Not
He's like a
warden.
like a foreman, you mean?
Floorman. Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. That's who, foreman. Yes. Thank you. I said floorman.
You did say floorman. I was gonna let you have it because it did work.
I didn't say it as a joke. Is the thing? Yeah. He's like the foreman of his shift or whatever. That's very good.
Oh, he got murdered because he read the wrong mind.
Oh.
Oh.
Like there was two people were there that were planning a crime, like realized that Psyduck was paying attention to them,
Oh yes.
and then he needed to get thrown into the water and drowned. Wait, that doesn't.
No.
Can
he
you
can't.
drown a Psyduck?
I don't think you can drown a Psyduck.
Well, you got to shoot a Psyduck.
You gotta shoot.
Okay, you got to shoot him. His weakness is gun. I looked it up. I
It's
forgot.
gun type is his weakness.
It says right there. His weakness is electricity, gun.
Yeah. So obviously Pikachu. Okay. So Pikachu goes to visit Psyduck. You know, he talks to him. He doesn't get a lot out of him, just that something weird's going on. Later that day, Pikachu gets a phone call from Psyduck, clearly urgent. Psyduck wants to meet. Pikachu goes to meet him. Psyduck is dead.
Yes.
Okay. And so then Pikachu's like, okay, now I'm.
Single GSW. That's what NCIS taught me.
I don't know what that means. Would you elaborate?
Gunshot wound.
Oh, a gunshot wound. Just the one, yeah. to the head, probably.
Yeah.
Because the thing about Psyduck is you
right
gotta
in the
take him out.
psychic brain pan.
Well, yeah, because you got to take Psyduck out quickly. Otherwise, if a Psyduck gets stressed, they explode in psychic energy.
Any psychic, they don't cover this in the anime and they don't cover this in the games. Any psychic Pokemon at any time can make you poop yourself.
And so you got to take him out quickly.
That's how Pikachu knows who to trail.
Psyduck made them shit themselves.
That's right.
Okay. So then Pikachu follows the scent. Danny DeVito, dressed as Pikachu, follows the scent of shit while narrating, of course, still. So then where does this lead him? This leads him to the warehouse where this now I assume the guy who's sitting on this whale Pokemon is first of all, is he literally sitting on this whale, or is he has the whale?
He should literally be sitting on it.
Yes, of course.
And I think it'd be funny if the whale was played by Ali Wong. And he's just giving him shit the whole time.
Okay. So Ali Wong. So the whale Pokemon can also speak.
Yes.
Okay. I love that.
I think so.
Pikachu understands her.
My general rule is like, if it's funny,
right, do it.
They could be understood.
Okay.
If it's not funny, then it's what?
It's just like the baby in Family Guy.
Right.
So then, okay. So who is is in Chinatown? Is he like? What's his public face? Is he like a he's just like a rich guy? Is he like a philanthropist guy? Like what's his? Okay.
I mean, that's typically the form that the bad guys take. Is they're either like some deadbeat mobster or it's just some corrupt corporate type.
Okay, so I assume at this point, at some point prior in this movie, did Pikachu meet Matthew McConaughey and he was just like it had to have just been in passing, right? Like, oh, that's that guy. He's so cool.
I thought it'd be funny if they were both gambling on the horses.
Yes.
And that's where they recognize each other from. It's okay. They've both been at the same place, betting on the same stupid horse.
Yes. So then he's like, he realizes who it is. He tells him like, so I assume this is the point where Matthew McConaughey makes him the offer of so much money to just walk away, leave this alone.
Right.
I'm like, maybe he offers to hire him as his own PI, like on retainer, because you've clearly done such a good job. You're very good at this.
And there's part of me that wants him to take it.
Yeah, me too. That's exactly what I was thinking. At some point, is the waitress gonna run in and somehow be involved with this part?
Well, no. What I think would be funny is that he takes Matthew McConaughey's offer, and he goes back to his really shitty office apartment, and Melissa Fumero is there saying, "What about my case?" He's
right.
Yeah, right. He's just totally like tuned it out. And he's like, I just got paid $1 million. I couldn't care less.
I mean, maybe just he's cheating on you. What do you want me to do?
And then she says like, but I hired you. Like why won't you help me? And then Pikachu says,
forget it.
That's Chinatown.
That'd be.
And then it just kind of ends.
And then it just kind of ends. That's
like
kind
it's
of,
over now.
That's how Chinatown also just kind of ends. It's just like,
because Pikachu gets on a. What is it, Nelly? Is it trolleys? What's the word for the streetcars?
It's about the red car. Back then they had the red car.
So he hops up and says like, "Where to, pal?" And then he says, "You bring me to the horsies."
Take me to the
credits
horsies.
Just start rolling.
And then it does not start raining at the end of this movie.
No. I think that's
there's a drought. Yeah.
Gosh.
My big thing is, like if you look at a lot of great films, they don't necessarily have endings. Like The Graduate does not have an ending. So to me, like this would be one of those things where you're sort of left open, like what happens?
Right. You're just like, hey. Yeah, I like that a lot. Yeah, that's better than what I was gonna say. I was gonna say the waitress shoots him, and that's how it ends. But I like this better. This is much better. Okay. Anything final that we need to make sure that we put in this that we might have missed? Any scenes that we want to make sure that happen that we need to play out? Is he gonna get like a butterfly knife stuck in his nose like in Chinatown?
Yes.
Okay, so we've got butterfly knife in the nose. What else? What other like quintessential noir scene do we need in this movie?
One thing that it's not a quintessential noir thing, but something to think about when we were talking about his tail.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of like the idea of that you see like the puppeteers moving the tail, but no one acknowledges them. Like it's just sort of there.
Just some guy,
like some like stage play, like except that this is happening.
Right, just dressed entirely in black.
because what I think it opens you up for is it does the Blazing Saddles thing, where you get to the end of the film and it also doesn't really have an ending. Like, it just they sort of erupt into that brawl
Right.
onto the movie set.
Oh yeah.
And then they just break the fourth wall. Like, so I would like something like that.
That'd be very good.
I think we've hit all of the big noir things. It is in black and white. Psyduck is shot dead. There is a murder.
Yes.
There is a dame. I mean, aside from someone getting machine gunned to death,
Right.
I think we've hit the noir things.
This is pretty perfect. I'm very excited about this. Okay, Frank, any final thoughts?
We sewed it all up as long as we have every time Pikachu is going to put out a cigar to get the next one going, he does put it out in a nearby blood spatter.
But the cigar is very large.
Yeah.
Okay. And Frank, does anyone cook anyone dinner in this movie?
Shoot, who cooks who dinner? God damn it, we've completely forgot.
BJ, this is a thing that we established that happens. It's one of the best
It's in
scenes
every
in most
movie.
movies when the villain is he's very friendly and he's cooking someone dinner and then he shoots them at the end.
Oh, that's how he kills Psyduck.
No, but we can't see him kill Psyduck. No, we don't see him kill Psyduck.
We don't see him kill Psyduck.
Maybe it doesn't happen in this movie. Maybe that's why this movie's so subversive.
Yeah, maybe.
You could do it as like a fantasy sequence. Maybe Pikachu is having a fantasy sequence with Melissa Fumero.
Okay.
And that's why he doesn't trust her and he kind of blows her off.
Yeah, maybe.
Because he's got that dream sequence of her making dinner and then she turns around and kills him.
He played it out in his head, in his mind palace. Okay, perfect. All right, so the last thing that we like to do is we like to establish a food and drink pairing that viewers should consume while watching this movie to really bring the whole experience home. And the only requirement is that the drink does have to be a flavor of Mountain Dew. So, knowing that, what are we looking at here? What are we thinking? They don't make a yellow Mountain Dew yet, unfortunately.
Wait, they don't have a yellow version of Code Red?
They have orange.
They do have orange. They've got Livewire.
That would be my pick. 'Cause
Okay.
that goes with Pikachu.
Oh yeah, he's electric. Perfect. Okay, so then
And
what
I
are we
feel-
eating? What are we recommending our audience eats?
Oh, it's gotta be like steak. Like, it's gotta be like this 1940s quintessential
Yeah.
Like
American thing that they
Spaghetti and a
an
steak.
overcooked gristly steak
Yeah.
Yeah.
with a cigarette in it.
All
And
right.
none of that broccoli stuff. Like, this is like hardcore,
Yeah.
just massive steak.
This is the 40s when eating as much meat as possible was what made you live longer.
That's right.
All right, cool. I think that's a movie. So I think that's gonna do it for us. Thank you everybody so much for listening. We hope you liked it. BJ, thank you so much for coming again.
Thanks for having me.
BJ, where can people find your stuff?
So I'm mostly over at bjmendelson.com, and if you like professional wrestling, you can follow me on Twitter at bjmendelson.
I'm not gonna lie. There's a lot about professional wrestling that I have come to learn and appreciate just from following you. So that's been quite an experience. I didn't remember I was following you on Twitter, which sounds meaner than I meant it. But then there was a day when I was like, why do I keep getting wrestling tweets in my feed? And then I noticed, oh, BJ's tweeting these. Right, BJ's really into professional wrestling. Okay, but there's like a day where I kept seeing them. I was like, why is this happening to me? And I've come to really appreciate them.
I think for me, if you like comics, there's virtually no difference between comic books and professional wrestling.
Right. One of the things that it was like a revelation to me was when I realized that like one of the complaint everyone has about wrestling is like, this isn't even real. It's stupid. And all the people who are really into professional wrestling are like, yeah, we know. And like, and then once you know that, it's like, oh, so this is just great then. Okay.
Yeah, everyone's in on the joke.
Right. It's pretty great.
Oh, one thing I want to add, I probably next year will make some version of what we've talked about.
Ooh.
I don't know if it'll be a comic or it'll be a prose thing, but it's on. So I'm really anal retentive about like what projects I'm working on.
Yeah.
So, but I've had Chinatown Pikachu on my project tracker for 2020. So in some form, this will exist.
Hell yeah. So just,
Can't wait.
we can get it just as long as we get that special thanks in the
Yes.
forward.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Well, thank you everybody so much for listening. If you like the show, please give us a good rating and review on Apple Podcasts and recommend us to your friends if your friends would like us. I hope they would. Until next time, I'm Scott Owen.
I'm Frank Serra.
And BJ, we usually end the episode with the password for the users so they can get in next week. If you would provide that password for them.
Oh, Lab Rat.
Oh, very good. You just had that locked
right.
and loaded.